today it is a special episode of the SteelMen podcast. Today we are doing our mock draft. Now,
Our first ever.
we will not be having any trades. That's kind of what we did because we didn't hear about any news, so we just didn't.
We're not going to do any trades. This is just strictly our opinion from what we have heard,
and what we have seen in the listings,
rankings, and what we think. Some of these could be stupid. Let us know if you agree with
it. Some of these could be
us.
really all of a sudden eye-opening, and could be all of a sudden, hey, they do need that person. But so let's get right on into it. Let's see if we got something right, at least. Probably the first one, always.
So basically what we did is I think we basically went on team need.
Team need, yeah.
We didn't necessarily do best player available.
Okay, so let's get right on into it. We'll see you on that. Yes, the first pick. Beautiful.
Number 1 overall.
It's going to be Trevor Lawrence, no matter what.
Do we know who that is? Yeah, no.
How could it not possibly be Trevor Lawrence?
It's got to be Trevor Lawrence, number 1 overall.
No explanation needed.
None at all.
And again, Zach Wilson, because that's all the Jets talk about, and I have a feeling they're going to take him.
It would be a shock to me if they took Justin Fields, but we have Zach Wilson going to the Jets at number 2. These first 2 picks, these top 2 quarterbacks. Well, if you want to go one more over real quick, and then we can talk about the first 3 picks.
Justin Fields,
who we have going number 3 overall to the San Francisco 49ers.
Definitely the show on Clemson, I think, really boosted him into that 3rd spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really boosted him into that
It's important to note that we were debating between Mac Jones and Justin Fields, but in the end, Justin Fields is so much a more complete player than Mac Jones here at number 3. I don't know how the 49ers could pick Mac Jones over Justin Fields.
Yeah. And
the only person who thought was Aaron, but
and also I think it literally there won't be a quarterback until later. It's either 3rd round and then way later. It seems like way later, but it's that's just because it just seems like they're gonna go with that. And for our 4th pick, we have Kyle Pitts going to...
yeah.
Who has 4th pick? Okay.
Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, they definitely do need that tight end. Let me bring up the document here so I can actually see.
I have a document right here with all our picks.
So you have all the teams too?
Yes, I'm in the document as well.
The next one, I know the next one is though. Yep.
Penei Sewell.
We
picked this because, as everybody knows, the meme that's been going around, you either protect Joe Burrow or you get him a target to throw to. And we think that the Bengals are going to go on the side of protect Joe Burrow.
Just because knee injury.
Yeah, and they definitely could get a wide receiver later on.
Yep. Yes. The first big wide receiver.
Number 6 overall to the Miami Dolphins.
Excuse me.
Would you like to do the honors with this one?
I had the name and it totally left me. See,
Jamar Chase. Jamar
Chase, yes. Sorry, forgot his name. I'm great at this. Forgetting names is a beautiful part about this. Jamar Chase. They're definitely going to go with a wide receiver. If they're not going to give Tua Tagovailoa
why? Yeah, I mean,
why not?
With all the options there, it's 6 for them.
Though there is some speculation it might be traded away.
There is some speculation. Go check out our last podcast for more updates on that.
I got to get that out.
And we definitely think Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in this draft.
Definitely But the next one with Carolina, no, it is the Detroit Lions. We
have Jalen Waddle
from Alabama. Another wide receiver here. I think they're going to go with the wide receiver on Detroit Lions. I don't think they're going to go QB, and I know, and they might surprise us and all of a sudden pick either Justin Fields or Mac Jones, whoever gets out of that third pick, but we're assuming that they would probably end up with Mac Jones throwing if they really tried to do that. But they got Golf, and I don't see them going for a QB.
They don't really have a need to get a QB first at their 7th pick when there are plenty of players available who are better overall, who they might need more.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So we got the Carolina Panthers picking Patrick Sutton the second.
Surtain.
Oh, Patrick Surtain. Sorry.
You might want to go back a slide. Go back a slide.
What the heck?
Back a slide.
How the heck?
You're going through the whole thing.
I'm actually literally very, very confused.
Go back to 8.
It skipped all the way. It literally
Patrick
skipped
Surtain,
all the way.
The second, the best cornerback in this draft. We have going at number 8. Still in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to make an impact right away for this Carolina
team. Top 10. I mean, as we slowly get farther out, these picks started getting harder because you had multiple very good O linemen, multiple very good
the easy part I'd say would be like the first
4.
13, 12, 13.
And the hardest Definitely part about 12. Like some of these is that like all of a sudden they'll pick like a tight end that you didn't think was going to be there because like there are so many O linemen this year and there's so many wide receivers and quarterbacks actually. Surprisingly, it seems like there's a ton, but there is not. There's only 5 surprisingly that are within the top couple. So okay, the next person we have
Micah Parsons.
Yes, there we go. Micah Parsons.
Penn State. There's a lot of Alabama and then a couple Penn State. I'd say those are the 2 colleges that we have the most players out of in our mock draft. Micah Parsons, some say he has some off the field issues.
Ooh.
But I don't think that stops the Broncos for picking him.
Yeah, they need
number 9.
I mean, they could go with Mac Jones, but I just don't see them picking a quarterback right away. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, like if they pick a quarterback, then that's what's gonna happen. Why did you switch?
Well, we'll move on to
we'll move on.
The Cowboys at number 10. We picked J.C. Horn.
Yeah. Cowboys are just gonna be idiots. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm just gonna say that they're not gonna do anything important. Like they can pick anybody out of the draft, and they still probably, if they somehow win the Super Bowl, or make the playoffs, I will be surprised.
It's important that we could also see them picking Caleb Farley here.
Yes.
Another quarterback. Caleb Farley, we think, is going to slide because of his, I'd say, injury issues. Yeah. That's why we have J.C. Horn going above him. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys decide to be idiots and go with Caleb Farley there.
Yep. We have Quite Pay. Is that how you say his last name? P.
Quite Pay.
Definitely,
I don't know.
Giants are going to go with Quite Pay here. Definitely
bolster up that defense.
Yeah,
they're going to really try and contend for that division with him this year.
And I mean,
it's really going to help them do that.
You really got the quarterback. You got a quarterback now in Daniel Jones, I believe.
I mean, their offense is I'd say if Daniel Jones can improve even this year some more,
and he does not fall on his face on any of the long runs,
their offense is going to be scary. Mm-hmm. With Saquon back, Kenny Galladay there, wide receiver. Maybe they get another wide receiver here, and it's going to be scary.
They Odell Beckham and actually started rebuilding the team. I wonder why.
Yeah,
it seems like Odell Beckham was too much. Didn't Odell also get hurt this year, and all of a sudden,
the Browns
made
crazy.
The playoffs? Everybody just get Odell Beckham on your team, and then make sure he goes out for the rest of the season, and you'll do good. At least better than usual.
Pay him $1 million to get hurt.
Yeah.
He'll probably need a little bit more than that.
We have the next one here with Eagles, Devontae Smith. You want to explain
the Heisman winning wide receiver? The Eagles need a wide receiver. They have no wide receivers. They always have no wide receivers. I don't know why. They tried last year in late first round to get a wide receiver. Didn't work out. Jalen Rieger, I guess he could do something, but we think Devonta Smith is the move for them to start building up their wide receiver corps. Again, give Jalen Hurts, the young QB, some help here. It's just a smart pick on their part if they go with him.
And for the Chargers, 13th round, we believe that they will be choosing Rashawn Slater.
Rashawn Slater. Another offensive lineman.
Another one that's probably going to go constantly. All of a sudden, everybody just starts changing, and all the offensive linemen just go in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the funniest part.
And it'll be interesting because we don't have Landon Dickerson, the center from Alabama. We don't have him going in the first round because of his ACL.
Very, very.
It'll be interesting to see where he slides to. Yep. But he could very well be a first-round draft pick if a team's not scared. There's
a couple first rounders that iffy because of injuries or iffy just the way they have played and shown. I mean, Mac Jones it was the way he was shown on Pro Day, and like he had the weapons, but you gotta also think when he doesn't have the weapons. Like some teams have to be thinking about that. Like when he doesn't have weapons, like
when you just have average wide receivers, are you gonna make them look like great wide receivers?
Is that why like Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle maybe they're average wide receivers and he made them good? It's gonna be very tough here. You don't really know. So it's very tough when you got a team like Alabama. I mean, they're good at producing players. Don't get me wrong, but with the quarterback, it's very tough to see where he lands, and that's why
that little tangent had nothing to do with Rashawn Slater.
I know, but since he's on the offensive lineman, definitely a lot of teams this year will be going with offensive linemen just to protect their QBs, and I think a lot of people need to start solidifying that O-line. Other than probably the Colts. I mean, the Colts are one of the teams that have the pretty big O-line. I mean, they could pick an O-lineman just to try bringing up into that big
probably
line,
tackle
but
would be the position they might go for.
Yep, but
if they were to, but we don't.
Choice here will be
Trayvon Moehrig, I think.
Yeah, Mooring. Sounds like Mooring.
Another cornerback, I believe, maybe a safety.
I believe it's cornerback here.
It is a cornerback, okay.
Yes. So I believe the first cornerback from this is the first quarterback going into the draft, I believe, because he's from TCU. He's pretty highly rated, and Vikings.
We have two cornerbacks already going.
Oh well, what? So okay, the second cornerback. I believe that Minnesota Vikings are looking for somebody to solidify that cornerback spot because that's one of their big needs right now. And I think
they've already bolstered up their defense a lot, and this is just going to make them that much better.
And I mean, if they get the defense, just kind of like we saw Rams, like what Rams did is they built up their defense, and like Steelers, they built their defense up, but they slowly build their offense. And I mean, if they can build their defense and start giving maybe a few picks later, get maybe a couple wide receivers or something, or some O-linemen, because there's probably going to be a ton of O-linemen left too, because there's so many in the draft that I think you get a few of those, you bolster up your offense a little bit, and I think they have a pretty good shot at, if they make it right, plays right, getting in the playoffs. Probably.
Yeah, they're big underdog.
I think they're going to be a big underdog. Yes.
Yeah, getting overlooked really in the NFC. That'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah. This is where you think we're the Patriots. Oh, boy. This is where you think we could put a quarterback. But
was probably the hardest pick to decide, the Patriots.
This is the hardest
pick. They could go so many ways here.
And it all depends on what San Francisco picks.
We've heard so many different things. Yes, it does. It does. It all depends.
It all depends if San Francisco actually picked Justin Fields like we have it. We have them going. We see them going with right now. Oots. Oh gosh. Oh boy.
Usu Koromoa.
Gosh
That's just
darn
his
it. He's
last
the
name.
hardest. Kamoa. I think this is just his last name. I think I just put his last name here, but what?
Yeah.
Which position again? I believe he's O line, or is it cornerback? Which one?
I do not think he is. He is not an O line. Definitely not.
Uh-huh.
I believe he is a cornerback, but I'm just
Yeah.
making sure.
I bet you I could beat you. Hold on. Just copy.
He is.
Paste. Enter.
Okay.
He is
so,
I know who he is. He's a
linebacker. Yep.
linebacker. Yeah. No, yeah, they definitely need. We decided that they were going to really boost up their defense here, really try to. And I know they need to fix their offense, but I think they really need to focus on trying to get their defense defense a little bit built up here. Get some younger players into that defense, because as they all say, defense wins games. So if you get, and I mean, if you get Cam Newton playing time and he comes out a little bit bigger, you get, and I know whatchamacallit retired Edelman. That's why it was very hard, because we think they could have also went with a big wide receiver here.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part for us there, is that they could go with a quarterback, wide receiver, or this linebacker. And I think they would be leaning towards the defensive end a little more, because I think you would rather patch the holes in the defensive end and then start focusing on the offensive end when you got the defense fixed up. And I mean, we all know that probably somehow Julian Edelman will end up going to Florida anyway, so
that's a story for another time. But
we'll just slip that in there. And for your 16th pick, we're on the 16th pick of the first round. Cardinals choose
Darshaw, another O lineman.
Another O lineman, I believe, because so they got this is kind of the easier ones. This is one of the easier ones, I believe.
Yeah,
because I know they got
to protect Kyler Murray. Give him time to throw to some of those new big targets they got.
Yep, they got some pretty big targets. I mean, they signed James Conner. We'll see how that works out. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I mean,
I believe AJ Green too. Yep.
Yep, and I believe that with the wide receivers like DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, it's just going to be a beast of an offense, and they're just going to need another dude just to solidify that offensive line, get them time to get to those big wide receivers, create big chances. And I mean, I see that more than they going with defense, because I mean, you signed J.J. Watt. I don't see why you wouldn't use him for at least the first few years, and then maybe next year pick that linebacker, or pick a few defensive players to really solidify your defense then and really make a chance. But I see them, one of the teams, if they make the right draft picks, if they make the right trades like they're doing, I believe that they will be a pretty good contender to go really far this year, I believe. Just the way it's looking.
Yeah.
And
number 17, the USC O lineman. We have the Raiders going with Vera Tucker.
This was another toughie.
Yep. We definitely could have moved him up.
Yeah, we definitely
to a couple of spots.
There's a couple people that we weren't sure if they were going to go earlier, if they were going to go later. A lot of this is probably just going to be like, these are shoots in the dark. These are literally like, just like, blindfold me, I'm just going to try to hit the target. But we chose Vera Tucker. I believe he's a lineman, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Another alignment, solidify that line. But I mean, this one we kind of went on needs here, and the offensive tackle was kind of a need, I believe, the offensive tackle. So I mean, going with that really would help them, and I think that was what they were going to focus on, because a lot of teams this year need to focus on that O line, O tackle, cover up some of those holes in the line, give some time. I mean, to Carr to throw. I mean, he's a pretty good quarterback. He's good. He's decent. I mean, with NFL standards, I should say, not everyday standards, he's freaking amazing. But any NFL person, but definitely give him more time here. Get your younger squad in here. Try to get a few picks. I mean, kind of the same thing where it's like it's very tough because you gotta have to
They're
base it
kind
off
of
the rest
between
of the
that.
picks.
They're in the middle of I don't know if they're full on rebuilding, but they're like
It's
on the
kind of like
fly
a
type
change
thing.
around. They're kind of like shifting from
Yeah.
an era to an era. It's more of those teams where they're kind of like mediocre and then good, and then they go back to mediocre. Like they don't drop to like
They're
huge.
just somewhere in the middle all the
They're
time,
always somewhere in the middle, like kind of like Steelers. Like for some reason, Steelers like to sit in the middle or up a little bit higher
Mm-hmm.
because they're just that way. And I think they're kind of the team that they'll get some younger guys in here. They're starting to switch from the older guys like Carr. I think has a couple more years maybe. They start looking for a new quarterback, and then they look for wide receivers, and they can get the job done there. But that's kind of what we're doing. O line, just another big O lineman coming in here, and
We
then
have
number
for the
18
Dolphins,
Dolphins.
number 18,
We
the
have.
outside linebacker, Aziz Ojulari.
We decided since they got their wide receiver here, they probably got enough
Just bolster up the defense.
weapons
Like,
for Tua Tagovailoa
this
because
team's going to be pretty good.
it's looking good. I mean, they could have went with an O lineman, but I believe they really needed the defense because
And like we said, you could get an O lineman in the second, maybe third round.
Because there's so many. I think what they're going to do is they're coming up with their big kind of gaps right now. I think a lot of teams are going to focus on their really big gaps in the first round, and then they're going to start in the second round, start picking the gaps that they kind of need but don't really need. But I believe Dolphins definitely need a few more good young defensive players on their side to really push this team to really get some rebuild here. They're going through a rebuild. They have done very good this year with Tua Tagovailoa. I do have to say, though Ryan Fitzpatrick, a nice job today. I love the blind throw. The blind throw was my favorite play of the whole year. But I mean, I think it's time to move on from Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think it's time to get the younger guys in. Start getting this young Dolphins team in here. Try to get a big side. Try to really build it up and go for a contestant into the play. I think they can definitely make the playoffs this year.
Yep,
they're one of the ones that are going to be one of the ones to make the playoffs. Patriots, I see them just kind of falling off a little bit here again this year, a little more. Jets kind of the same thing. I don't think Jets are gonna make big improvements. Like I know they're gonna get a quarterback that'll probably be definitely a big improvement in Zach Wilson, but I mean, they kind of made the dumb mistake giving Sam Darnold away and not having a backup. So I think it's gonna be tough for them to really, kick off this year. But that's just my take on that.
And at 19 and picks 19 and 20, we get the quarterbacks coming in again.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Though we do have some speculations about the Bears. We will tell you that when they come up. So as your 19th football team pick, the Washington football team. They
name to be changed at a later date.
Trey Lance. And
gonna sit behind Ryan Fitzpatrick, possibly Ty Heineke. Gonna learn maybe from a year or two.
Yep. I think it's just the way to go.
Probably take over.
I think it's the way to go. I mean, it seems like he's a good, even though I haven't seen him play or anything, it just seems like a good fit to go with a quarterback this year. I think Trey Lance can sit back for 1 year. I think that's what's going to happen is they're going to have Trey Lance, and I think it's going to be very good for him to center Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he's going to learn a good bit.
Somebody who sits under Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, very a knowledgeable guy in the football world because he's been with Bills, Dolphins, multiple teams. He's been now with the Washington football team. I believe, is he coming back or? I believe he's been here before. There's so many teams that Ryan Fitzpatrick has been on. It's I believe he's also been on the Falcons.
This is his first time with the football team or Washington, I suppose.
Yeah.
But moving on to the Bears.
This is the most surprising one.
Yes. little bit of a hot take here. Look at that, even getting in a hot take.
20.
The Bears are going to be drafting Mac Jones.
Oh. So this is big here. So
they need their QB. Yep. And this is,
So here's how I think it's gonna go down. I think Bears either get Trey Lance or Mac Jones. It kind of seems like they're gonna get Trey Lance or Mac Jones because I have a feeling just Justin Fields is going in that third pick. I have a feeling he's going in that third pick. But we have heard, and I know we said no trades, but we have some speculations that Miami might be willing to give up that sixth pick. And I think that Bears will really try to get that sixth pick for try to get a QB earlier. I really think that's how they're doing because I don't think they want to be sitting this far back and trying to hope that one of the QB survives because Patriots could surprise us out of the blue and pick Trey Lance or Mac Jones, and Broncos we think they need a quarterback, and I think they will probably use one quarterback, but not sure yet. And so if Bears can get that, that'll be very beneficial for them. But right now, this is how I feel about this. Is I think Mac Jones is going to go 20th just because I think there's a lot of teams that are going to overlook the QB spot a little bit more than the top three teams are really the first teams that need quarterbacks really badly. But it didn't help Bears that they got into the playoffs. The playoffs. I don't think that helped them, to be honest, in the drafts. But they are getting Andy Dalton. But I think they're going to go with whatever they can get from the draft out of the QB. Because
I mean, Mac Jones could possibly take over midseason.
Yeah, and we can see that. But I mean, another probably great QB to be under too, Andy Dalton. Because I mean. Yeah. He was a respectable quarterback. I mean, it's not the fact that he isn't a good quarterback. It's the fact that it's kind of like it's starting to get to the end of his career. And it seems like he's going to retire soon, to be honest. It's kind of what I'm saying. I'm seeing that soon. But this is another one that we had a little confusing time on, this 21th pick. With the Colts are going with Jalen,
the defensive end, Jalen Phillips. Again, just bolstering the defense. Not really much else.
I mean, they have that big offensive line. They could have gone with a QB, but I don't see them going with a QB in the first round, to be honest. I mean, they might grab a QB later on.
I don't think they would be going with a QB at all, just because of the
Carson Wentz. But
possibly late round.
But I mean, they're probably going to go with a probably late round QB just to throw in another QB if Carson Wentz doesn't work. But I mean, if you give Carson Wentz times, we'll see how he reacts this year. I think if he really reacts well to get this O-line, giving him time, giving him space, maybe he'll start making those throws, start not allowing Jalen Hurts getting into his head here, and not since Jalen got into his head. I think that now that he's on a different team, maybe he clears his head space. He starts throwing some nice passes out here. He starts becoming a threat. He really starts expanding Colts team, and I think Colts could be another team to make a really big run again this year. I think they're gonna make it be. It's gonna be a battle in the AFC this year. Let's just say that it is going to be a battle between Kansas City. Bills is another team that looks really good this upcoming year. Colts, another team that really could just be big. Yeah. That's what I have to respectably say. And then we have the Titans with the 22nd pick are going with. You want to announce
Caleb
this,
Farley sliding all the way to number 22.
Now I gotta remember why we picked this corner him at 22.
We had him sliding because of injury issues.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. He's cornerback, right?
He could go a lot higher.
He's a cornerback?
Yes.
Yeah, I got that right. I think he could go a lot higher, but the way it looked like, I think there was There is a few other big corner, like the TCU guy looked pretty good. The Patrick Satane looked definitely decent. So, I mean, respectively, I think cornerbacks could be flipped up and turned upside down and mixed all around. It really just depends on what the team is looking for in a player and how they want to play these players. Like I think they're going to be looking at the way he plays, the way they're set up in their college team, seeing if they fit within the scheme of their team and seeing if they could use it, or if they're really good at switching it up a lot of the times from zone to man, or what they're really good at. So I think that's going to play a factor in who's going to choose these cornerbacks here. Any thoughts, Adam?
I mean, you pretty much said it all.
Okay, I'm going to let you do all the talking on this next pick here. So,
yes.
at 23.
At number 23, defensive end, Jason Owe. Like we said, they're trying to build up their defense, rebuild the defense, and this is a good start with their second pick.
Yep.
I mean,
just trying anything.
Trying to keep getting Zach Wilson, putting him in the best chances. I think this helps them a lot, especially because these guys from Penn State, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't think their season reflects how good they are. I definitely don't think this last season.
They had a mix of very good players and not so very good players. They didn't really have in between.
Yeah, they didn't have that connection players that would come in and really just do what they could, and then there were some big high end players, and then they wouldn't have. So, respectively, you see a lot of them on this list because there was a lot of good players in Penn State. It just didn't come together this year, and that's why it's and an obvious 24th pick for the Steelers, the running
Najee
back
Harris.
Najee Harris. See, this is one of the things that we were discussing here. We know they're going to go with a running back. I'm pretty sure they're going to go with the Alabama Najee Harris running back, him for running back. But I mean, they could surprise us and go with the Clemson. I can't remember his name, the Clemson running back, and a long last name with E, Eniente or whatever.
Etienne.
I mean, they could go with him, but I mean, I think they're going to go with Najee Harris. I think he's the better one. But I mean, respectively, it's up to the Steelers here, and I think they could go either way. It doesn't matter. They need a running back, and he just looked like the better out of both worlds.
He definitely is the best running back in the draft class, and I think this just gives the Steelers another year to compete.
Yeah, and I mean, Big Ben coming back, getting over Rudolph and things, they mix it up a little bit. They can be a big contender for the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
They're just the defense on Steelers is
it's great.
I mean, it's not the number one defense, but you have to say they're always top contenders for that defensive end. The steel curtain. Bro, the next one that we have, since the Jaguars had the first pick, we have them at 25th. The Jaguars snagging an O-lineman from Oklahoma State. Tevin Jenkins. That's how you spell his name, right? Correct?
Tevin Jenkins.
Tevin Jenkins, yes. And I think this is really just the choice to really just protect Trevor Lawrence. I really think that's the move they're going to go with here. And
you don't want to do what the Bengals did
and not get in
risk.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence getting hurt.
You really want to thing, and I think you focus on the O-line this year, and they, with their second rounds, they start picking some O-linemen, because I think they really need to build that O-lineman before they build anything else. Because I would respectively say I would rather have somebody have tons of interceptions than getting hit in the pocket constantly over and over again. So that's where we're thinking they're going. This is where it gets very hard because we're out of options. We're trying to figure out who's going with what, because a lot of these teams at the end here don't really need too much, other than Ravens, which needs a whole revamp of their whole team. But other than that,
the Browns, we have them taking Christian Barmore, the defensive tackle.
I think they definitely need to build up their defense because, it seems like the way to go for them. They definitely did have the offense versus the Steelers. They definitely did have like everything versus the Steelers. It just seems that they need some more pieces in that team to really compete. Farther.
I mean, adding this to the defense that already has Jadeveon Clowney, that has Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
this is going to make their defense that much scarier for opposing teams.
You also got on the offensive end, and I was really thinking they might try to go for a wide receiver, but I don't see it happening. They also got Odell Beckham Jr. They got Mayfield. They got Nick Chubb at running back. I don't know what other weapons they have at wide receiver or tight end. It's just, it just kind of seemed like they were going to go with that. Now, this is the one that we were contemplating whether Ravens were going to do, because they are a what, Adam?
A rushing team.
Oh, yes.
Because Lamar Jackson, as we all know, cannot throw the ball.
He does not throw it on target. He throws it.
They can't get free agent wide receivers to join them.
So, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to select a wide receiver in the draft. Oh, dang it. Excuse me. Hold on. For some reason, it liked to skip here. Sorry about this. At the 27th pick, we have from Ole Miss.
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore, wide receiver. And I think
that's where we get a lot of receivers late first round.
Yeah. Yes, Rashard Bartman. We have going. I will spoil this one. Saints we have going Rashard Bartman. But I mean,
Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, and it's between these two, for these two teams. I just think they'll just pick him. I mean, for the Ravens, you don't really
need wide receivers.
You don't need a wide receiver.
Who is the better fit?
For the Saints, you just got to pray they pick the right one.
Yep.
For scheme fit, I mean, for the Saints, you just kind of got to pray here. But as we said, they're probably gonna, since Ravens picked Elijah Moore, they're gonna go with the Rashad Bateman. As you can see, I am dyslexic and I cannot read. My dyslexia is working top 10 right now. I'm in the top 10 of Ugh, I hate that. Just okay. So back to this. Wide receiver from Minnesota. I think they're gonna go with a wide receiver.
With Michael Thomas's
it's just
injuries last year, they need a backup plan. Just double.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
And then we have the third wide receiver going. Terrence Marshall Jr. from LSU going to the Green Bay Packers for the 29th pick.
Just giving the former MVP more help. Right now, he really only has Devontae Adams as like the star guy.
Yeah.
Then another wide receiver.
And I think he is. Yeah. And I think they need a couple more weapons on that offense. I mean, they need to bring some weapons on that offense and some big threats on the defense. But I mean, right now I think they're going to go with an offensive side here. Get Aaron Rodgers a couple more weapons here at wide receiver. Get him some options to throw to. Really try to break down some defenses here, and I really think they can do that. It's really gonna play out to Aaron Rodgers connection. Maybe these guys connect. Really looking for that. I don't see Ravens or Saints picking him because I just don't think he's a scheme fit for Ravens like usual. None of these three are scheme fit for Ravens, but I mean, I think Ravens are just gonna pick a wide receiver. They're just gonna like put in the thing bin. They're gonna shuffle around with their hand, and they're just gonna pick one out. To be honest. So this is where it gets a little tougher here. We got the three big teams now. I know Green Bay is a pretty big team, but I mean, these are the teams that probably can possibly make another Super Bowl run this year,
They
and
will be in the
This will be the three teams that are. We have at pick 30 Bills. We have Greg Newsome, the second, the cornerback from Northwestern, going to the Bills because they need to solidify that defense. They need some more big defensive guys.
I mean, that defense is going to be. Other defenses are scary, but this is going to be
a big.
If he pans out,
If he pans out right,
very, very good pick.
Hey, maybe if
they already have
Farley's left over,
Edmonds controlling their whole defense right there.
Yeah, definitely a thought. Though we definitely now have another. This was kind of confusing because we didn't know if they were going to go with protections for Mahomes after the Super Bowl or they were going to go with
because we all know what happened in the Super Bowl.
Another threat, but I mean, they didn't. They need to work Kelsey underneath. Kelsey's just that go to a tight end to get underneath of every single team. So we didn't think they were going to go. They might have ended up going defense, but we thought they were going to go with some protection. I believe this is 32. Yes, because it skipped. We have Jalen Mayfield, O-lineman from Michigan, going to Kansas City because they got exploited by Tampa Bay big time in that Super Bowl. And I think they're going to try to solidify it, give Mahomes time, but also give Hill time, to be honest. If you give Hill time, he'll break anybody's ankles. I don't care. He'll break your ankles.
He can outrun anyone.
He's just that fast. You give him time. You give Mahomes time. That connection's there. Bang, bangity, bang, bang, touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And I mean, you give Travis Kelce also time. He'll get underneath and he'll make those runs underneath to really get those dirty little runs to get those first downs when he needs it. I definitely think this will be a big boost for him on that O-line to maybe make another run for it. This is going to probably be another team that probably makes it another run. But I want to see Mahomes winning, but respectively, I don't really care who wins the Super Bowl right now. We usually want it to be Steelers because of that. But hey, now Tampa Bay, we're going to go with, we went as the last
adding
pick,
to their already stacked defense.
Levi Oko, we did that. Okay, yeah, you want to take over?
Onwuzurike.
The defensive tackle out of Washington. I think, see, this was hard, but I don't think they're going to go with a wide receiver. I mean, respectively, they could go with a wide receiver because they might not want Antonio Brown anymore, but they have some big wide receivers already, so I think they're not going to go with it. QB is solidified by Tom Brady, the GOAT. We have also Gronkowski as the tight end. I don't think anything's going to change there. Definitely a good O-line, decent O-line, enough to give some Brady some time. It's not as good as whatchamacallit, Patriots was, but respectively, I think in later rounds they'll probably pick some O-linemen to solidify that O-line. I think they really want to look to get another defensive player. I think they want to get another weapon on that defensive side, really build that defensive up to really give Brady time to do his work and go to work, because I think that's what's going to happen. And I do hate to say it, but they're probably going to go for another Super Bowl this year again. So
probably.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Bills win the Super Bowl. That's the team that I wouldn't mind seeing win the Super Bowl.
That'd be okay, yeah.
Because I mean, they have not won a Super Bowl yet. They have been to 4 and haven't won any of them. And that champion, I think it exploited the bad, a few of the bad play calls off the Bills. There were some bad decisions in that last championship game. And I mean, with Bills bringing in a defensive player, and then, I mean, if they bring in another wide receiver to get another threat off of that, that would also be big time. But I think that's going to come in later rounds because there's tons of wide receivers in this draft again too, and I think that's going to come later because I mean they're always going to be the side party to Stephon Diggs there. Josh Allen, give him the chance to get on his feet and run. It's gonna be big for these teams, but I mean, if Steelers can make Najee Harris work, I think Steelers have a big flying chance to really make it far this year. I think solidifying that run was the thing that if they did this year, they would have made it even farther, and they would have scored a lot more points. But that power from Connor was just not there this year. So respectively, everybody, this was our mock draft from the SteelMen. We also have been hit. We also wanted to put one more thing in here. The Green Bay Packers might be trading with the Patriots. Speculation again. We don't know if that's even true or not. There were some leaked documents on Twitter, but I don't think it's. We don't know if it's a credible source or not. So Green Bay,
but
yeah. So Green Bay Packers could be up there, but I don't see it happening. I don't see Bill Belichick trying to give up his 15th position. I think he's going to keep it with it because he needs a rebuild. But to be respectively honest, this is our mock draft. We didn't put any trades in because it would just be too complicated. Don't think a lot of too much is going to happen, too much more. It's just going to be the picks. We're going to see how it goes. Please make sure to always stay steel strong. Always be singing the SteelMen national anthem. Please make sure that subscribe button is white, not red. Also, please make sure to hit notifications to all. Make sure to watch for every single podcast. We will be delivering sports news as early as possible as my computer works or it loads or anything. We will try to get you as much content. Make sure to look out for anything new on our SteelMen channel. There might be a new few videos coming out that we're planning. There could be a possible Olympics. Could there be Olympics? But we will see in the next one. Please make sure to just vibe with it.